sparkling cider.
Gail saying that this is full-bodied
Apple cider.
apple cider.
Sparkling.
Me and Bruce had champagne this morning at 8
We're
o'clock.
on a $50 million wine frame, and the girls are having cider.
They're having cider.
Smoky Mountain cider.
The Napa Valley wine train, we're having apple cider.
And they're making us drink.
We drank enough wine at the Copeland yesterday, more wine than I had in my life. And after champagne, when we landed on the
Bruce
balloon, I
Bruce
don't believe I was drinking.
take a shot of cocaine.
All right, you can move.
What's she doing? Are you going to eat? Is that good? Morning. Morning.
Good morning.
Y'all want to have it? I tell you what, I took one of hers. It's pretty. If y'all can sit right up here about the impatiens. Actually, if you got in there to the right instead, you get that bougainvillea in.
This is our little courtyard, and I hate that.
They made that on last night. Those towers right there.
Oh, yeah. Huh. This is our little courtyard. Neat. People sit out here at night. This is Bruce and Gayle room outside. Now this is up to the top of the stairs. Neat little place.
I don't think that's Rhodey.
The gardeners examining
Related.
flowers.
Well, this big thing has a similar leaf.
They were all fresh flowers in there.
Yeah. Oh, were they?
Yes. The flowers.
It's all room right up top the stairs. It's fun getting a suitcase up there. There's no elevator.
And they were $11.
Yes, that'll make nice restaurant here too. Restaurant over there. How are y'all? Real pretty mural right there on the wall. Picture of our bellboy. Come for our luggage to help us, the old seniors, get it down the steps.
Right.
How much? I ain't got much money. How much do you want for
I'll
tip?
just do there.
You get a picture of our little fireplace. Neat room.
It was neat.
I'm proud of you. Well, I mean, this is a big undertaking to do this. And I'm proud of you. You've done very well. You've followed all the directions and you're You're doing very good. Yeah, but you know what? It's probably in some ways a good thing to grow now. Because now we're going to get everything fixed. You're going to put your stereo in the car.
That's typical.
When you come back, your equipment is so good to go for the new one. And I already told him if there's anything special he needs, that he pays for it, I'll write him a check and send him. Huh? What?
My gardener looking at the roses. What a beautiful place up on top of Spring Mountain Road. This is called Pride Mountain Vineyards. That's good, Bruce. Good stuff.
All right, bye.
That looks like you.
It does, doesn't it?
I like these jackets. They'd be perfect for Florida.
I can do that,
When's the next mailer going out?
Soon.
So it's coming up,
Yeah.
Everybody gets some Chardonnay.
So, I actually have had people, I'm not making fun, but this does happen once in a while. They look up and they ask and they say, well, gee, there is a difference in Sonoma and Napa grapes. And actually, that happens to be Syrah on the left and that's Cabernet on the right. But, you know, they still want to know what the difference between Sonoma and Napa. And up here, I have to say it's about 5 feet is the difference. It's really about mountain fruit. It's really about the challenges that we have up here growing grapes. Very rugged, very exposed soils. And look, I guess we are going to take a ride today.
About to say, here it comes. I saw it come around the corner.
Yeah. No, it's the Pride wagon. Budweiser, Clydesdale, Pride, Dozen Draft.
Better juice.
Yeah.
Better product.
Well, we did, somebody said Bud. I swear, these guys came over, they were execs with Budweiser, and they're out visiting the Fairfield plant, and they brought us a 6-pack of Bud. And it just had come from the plant. And they're talking about their freshness, and you go, what difference does that make? It's all just beer. We put that 6-pack on the ice and tasted that beer. I swear to you, it's the greatest beer I've ever had. So there must be some freshness thing with the beer. He swore by it. He said, oh my God.
Well, you know now what Budweiser is doing is you can basically go into the store and get it pretty much from the bottling plant now. It has fresh.
It has the freshness, yeah.
So you can,
Yeah.
this was,
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was like, eye-opener. And he just said, why don't you put this on the ice? And then it's a hot day. Right. It's perfect. This is finished. This is completed in about 90.
Got a few barrels in it, Bruce. Huh? Yeah.
So this is about 22,000 square feet here, underground, about half an acre. Just an ideal facility for making wine. It stays 57, 58 degrees year round. We really designed this for this property. We actually can get 2 vintages in here. It happens to be 1,000 barrels per layer, and that's all we really need is a maximum of about 2,000. So they never wanted to go 3 high. It just happens to be human nature. If you can access these barrels, you taste these and you taste these. But if you got to get on a ladder to taste that one up there, those are the ones that get kind of neglected. So it's just a little bit more easy in terms of the winemaking. You guys will love this. The road that you came up from St. Helena, they concrete here, mixers. In terms of the amount of mixers and loads, 600 loads of concrete. So, you know, everybody thinks, gosh, very, very expensive, but you know, if we're building an above-ground building that's 22,000 square feet up here, the bids were, you know, right around over $200 a square foot. And when these were bid out in '97, they were bid out right at about $65 a square foot. So, the interesting thing, though, after that is when the company left us, they were booked for the next 13 years. And so, good old supply and demand. Our neighbor down below, Henry, actually he lives in New York, and he came up a couple of months ago, and he was telling me he had applied for permits to do this and got bids. This was about 6 months ago.
Right.
They bid right out of about 190 square foot.
Just
So, yeah, so it's like,
But the operating costs with not having to do the, saves you probably, and not having to have it cooled mechanically.
precisely. They say, not that you can predict your energy bills, but
Yeah.
they still say somewhere in that 12 to 15 year range, they probably wind up paying for themselves.
Oh, yeah.
And so now Henry at 200, let's see, maybe that's 25 years, I don't know, but the cost of energy, who knows?
Oh, yeah.
But it's, and again, then you know what happens, to be honest with you? They wind up putting it into a building because you can't afford 22,000 square, so you do about 6,000 or 8,000. Then the barrels go from floor to ceiling, and I don't care what kind of cooling you have. It's 55 degrees, it's 70
That's
up
right.
there.
Down here, it's always,
It's all even. The
always
humidity is
better
up.
control.
The humidity is up, which is nice because if it's a pretty dry cave or a dry warehouse, you get almost 15% evaporation per year. 2 years in the barrel, that's 30% of your wine's gone. With the amount of humidity that's in here, we're down right hovering around 4 to 6%. So that's 12% versus 30. So that's another good. It doesn't feel real humid here, but the further you get back, the more humidity you start to feel here.
We got a lot of caves in Tennessee. Outfit called Jack Daniels uses them.
Yeah, I know Jack.
They use the caves to
I
an
knew it
advantage.
in college.
Yeah, I knew when,
Dad, I don't know why, I'm sorry I'm getting off the story here, but at any rate, talking about beer, there's a guy that's coming up at noon that I've gotten to know. And talk about a formula for success. This guy was in college, where my son was going about 25 years ago, in Chico. And, you know, it's a typical college town, kids looking for beer. This guy started making beer in his garage. He just sold the business, Sierra Nevada.
I was about to say, Chico, that's Sierra Nevada. It's my favorite beer. I bet. What, is that the guy?
He started it in his garage.
Oh, God.
So he said, I said, well, Paul, why did you sell it? He goes, when it hit 250 employees, that's when he said, I just need it back. Yeah. So his partner bought him out. So this guy comes up. I'm wondering what kind of car he's going to come. He came up with a $500,000 Ferrari the last time he was
Wow.
And he
I'll
has,
stick around just to see what you're seeing.
well, you know what he'll come up today? He'll come up in his Mini Cooper, I'll bet.
Yeah.
So he goes anywhere from, but it was really interesting because I went down to this, there's a racetrack that's here that's real famous, Infineon Racetrack. And I went down because I have friends down there, and he went for this, these guys, you know, with all the toys rent the track, and he was the only guy there. He had I don't know if you know cars, but he had a Porsche Cup car, and he had the Ferrari Challenge car. So he had two cars there that he was taking out. And I love it. He just took delivery of this Ferrari, and it came with Giuseppe. Giuseppe came with the car. So he's there, they're tuning, making sure everything is running perfectly when it's the first time out on the track. And this is what this challenge car is. It's not really a street legal car. Looks exactly like a street legal car, but it's not. And so they have this challenge where, you know, you basically, everybody has the same exact car, and you go out and you throw around this $250,000 car. But I don't know why I got into this story, but at any rate, Paul's coming up, and I'm sitting here and thinking, we were all probably college students at one time. Why didn't it occur to you? You can't go make microbrew beer today.
Right.
You know, everybody's out there. But this guy had this notion in a college town, gee, I think I'll make beer for myself. Yeah, maybe I'll make a little bit more for my friends.
So you said Chico. Sierra Nevada's out there. I like that one. I wonder if that's.
Chico?
Chico, yeah, it's a college. It's Chico State University. It's actually up in the Central Valley. It's a great place to send your kids because it's very inexpensive. I mean, my kid wanted to go to Berkeley or wanted to go to San Francisco. You know, the housing costs there. It's
Twice as much as the tuition.
Yeah, no, it's like, a little crummy apartment's $2,000 a month, and, they gotta get 2 kids in there, and they can, rent a house up there for $400 a month or
Right.
something, and cram 3 kids in.
Yep, that's amazing.
How much is tuition up there?
Oh, it was just as I put.
We're there for 14.
See, look, he survived, too.
14 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I had three, 5 years apart. 17 years I paid tuition, every year it went up.
Well, we have a 16-year-old son. You need your house
It's pretty. This is nice.
Well, the advice.
This is a treat. Every year we come up here.
Yeah.
Something else in stuff? Got some great pictures.
It's pretty, isn't it?
Oh, it's gorgeous, isn't it?
Of the rock? Well, last year we were here, it was overcast and cold. It was actually really cold.
Just a big rock out in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
College tuition itself is paid for. That's only a portion of
Well, listen, let's go to these horses. We're kind of waiting for it.
I have that.
The trolley broke down Saturday night in San Francisco.
Oh, with you guys on it?
Yeah, it's not very far. This is about as far as we can go. Just turn right, turn left. We were a mile and a half from the hotel.
Oh, man, and I know those trolleys, what they do is they break down up here, the cables overheat or something like that. It's usually on the steepest section. So oldest vineyard of Cab right behind you here. This is approaching 40 years old. And then right behind me here on the hill is probably youngest vineyard of Cab. That's about probably 6 years this year. So when they get around the bend here, it's such a great view, they'll just go ahead and stop. And
You say Hendry's right down below you?
is who now?
Henry, you were just saying there's another winery.
The guy who got the bid on this cement.
Yeah.
Oh, Henry. No, he's on. I'm sorry. He's on the other side.
Oh, the other side. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. At any rate, obviously you made it up the top of the hill. Spring Mountain is actually part of the Mayacamas, is the range. And so this is the Mayacamas dies off right here, and you're looking at the end of it, and that's actually Diamond Mountain. You've probably heard of that just because there's vineyards like Reverie and Von Strasser, and actually Sterling has some vineyards up on Diamond. Obviously, it's the other side. We can't see a
Big mountain to the left?
yeah. This one right here, just right in front of us.
Now, where would Hidden Valley be? On over that mountain, that range?
Hidden Valley?
Yeah, we went on a balloon ride up there.
Oh, okay. Well, that's Pope Valley on the other side there. This is the
Okay.
Vaca Range right here, and then that's St. Helena on the top there.
Okay, what about Hall? What would he say?
Mountain.
Howell Mountain? You're actually, if you were, you could see it if those trees weren't there. That's part
Okay.
of that Vaca Range, and it's right
Well, I
there.
think we went across there, and there was
Okay.
a valley over there with a bunch of ranches, and it was called, because of so much fog in Napa, we had to go up there and ride the balloon.
All right. Nice
And
ride?
yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Called Hidden Valley is what he called it.
Okay. I'm great on geography on this side because I live in the Russian River.
Yeah.
I'm a little shaky on this side, but
Yeah.
actually the winemaker lives over in Pope Valley, so he actually has to drive all the way up Deer Park and goes over that mountain range, and then down at the very bottom he lives. So he kind of comes up that range down and up to get to work. So
Foley, the winemaker?
yeah, he goes through tires about every 6,000 miles.
Yeah.
Brakes. It's like saying how much is a car. It really is.
Really is.
Yeah. First of all, there's parcels up here, again, agricultural, so they're fairly large blocks. And then, for instance, across, I don't know if the sign is still there, but there was a bed and breakfast
Yep,
that's
they're
for
for
sale.
sale.
135 acres.
Yes.
I think it's around the 4.5 million. And there's no plantable acreage there. Zero. That's how.
What is it?
This is Golden Gate.
No. Oops. Oh, look at all the people walking.
Yep. So I'm thinking that he's way up here on the right now, now it's coming on the left.
Well, I'll just make a movie of the guy in the car.
I'm taking the right now. So
This is not going to be real good because you're bouncing.
I'll be on the wrong.
they have. Yeah.
Well, I have 2 handfuls of these. Oh, yo!
Mom, help him out.
Well,
He's drunk or something.
He just like sound asleep.
yeah.
Yeah.
At least you slow down.
It's only 25 cents, isn't it?
Well, we've got about $14
We've got
in
$14
check.
we pay for a whole bunch of these. When Bruce turns around, I get you. Here, just get back. Bruce, don't fall down. I'm gonna make a picture right behind you, too. It's gonna be. Okay, here we go. Well, he says.
Man, is this pretty? We just below Pacifica, a town south of San Francisco, and there's a boat out there somewhere. Right there. There's all kind of surfers down there. Off that part right there. Bay's just full of them. Guys riding surfboards. Highway 1. Just getting started. Pretty. This is the next morning, Carmel. Just a little place here in Carmel. Beautiful flowers. I figured you want to take a close-up of that rose.
Close up to that. Right here.
Beautiful. But I don't want. So you're gonna get background.
Yeah. Do you want me to hold them?
We're trying for
Pretty. Nice flowers.
Beautiful little flower garden here. What are these, Bruce?
What they are.
Hello, Japanese photographers. I'll get a close-up.
No, I mean, I'm just kind of. But you're gonna have that in it.
Well, look at this guy here.
And the purple's pretty. Okay.
You ever seen this right?
I don't know what that is. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at the little tiny white that comes out.
Guy.
It's called Mission Trail. Got 3 little offices back here.
It's kind of hard to move hers.
Thank you there, old chap.
You want me to do yours?
Yeah. Nice little park. Fuchsia tree. I mean, beautiful flowers. Man. Like Seattle or something. Time we're over there looking at the flowers. This is called the Tally Hole Inn. Don't get run over.
Don't get run over. Be careful.
It goes over there, Bruce.
Look at this fuchsia tree.
Look at that.
Two of them.
Never seen that.
No.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, look all down there.
Uh-huh.
Can you get them?
They've all got to the fireplace.
There's another Japanese photographer.
Mm-hmm.
She likes close-ups. Look down through there, though, dear. Bruce.
We do this because we frame the pictures and
I don't remember seeing many of them framed.
yeah, I know you haven't, but Gayle has come right home and done it.
What is the little white thing? Yeah.
You have several Is the water down here?
Uh-huh.
We're gonna walk down there?
Well, let's see. It's maybe further than I think it is. We can drive down there maybe later.
Yeah, but there's
It's a pretty good way. Yeah, it's too far.
To drive.
Too far to walk. We'll drive down
Okay. To drive down.
there. When we
later.
get,
Remember,
we get
we
ready.
saw a lot of houses and all.
Yeah, we'll go down there and then drive. Just drive.
Come on, dear.
Huh?
She was just talking. Hey, there's the English garden shop. I'm already really worried about getting this stuff back. I don't know. I just don't have it all together. Do we need to go down or
We need to go back up.
I think we need to go up.
Beautiful hotel in those Cypress City.
Is that seriously good? See, I tell this guy, the guy's in the very details. That's the way I
This is the Methodist Church. Beautiful garden.
It's pretty.
Smells good too.
Bougainvillea.
I thought this was worthy of y'all walking that down.
This must be the cypress trees they talk about. Oh, what a beautiful garden.
Celebrates 100 years.
Hmm.
You see it has open hearts, open minds, open doors.
Boy, pretty.
We didn't go to him.
Bruce is getting close up.
Look at those different trees and things. Must be getting old. Taking more pictures. I must really be getting old. I'm just getting where I'm taking all these pictures of these flowers. Boy, it's neat though. Look down here.
I know.
What is this right here? Man.
See, I like hydrangeas. Those are planted under I like that purple
That lady was telling those ladies, she lived here, she said that was called a potato bush. That tree right there. You ever hear that?
What,
She
that-
said
the
that
tree?
said that was called a potato bush.
We got for me.
This is one. This is Spanish Bay Golf Course at Pebble Beach. Looking Monterey Bay.
She said you would have 10 or 15% shrinkage if you put it in hot and dry. That's the reason I went on.
I'm just gonna give him the wine.
But what have you got?
Wine.
Wine. Oh,
He's
yeah.
on his wine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Who?
Greg.
Oh, there's a guy and a
I
girl.
know, she's cute.
They're big right here.
She wanted to know if this was a gift, and I told her yes. She said, well, let me pack it. I like all the little fires. Where's Rose?
To the right.
There's a single point.
So you could just come stay here. You know, a lot of people come stay here. Hotel.
I think we were the only people in there having lunch when we were.
Wasn't many.
But yet it was in July. Maybe we just ate late. I know we were hungry.
We're going to take a drive over there. What a view.
Don't make fun of my movie taking over the Golden Gate Bridge now because the car bounced and the railing
Was in the way.
and all I could hear in the background was, oh. It's got some bronchitis going. Oh, look. He's a loud guy. Okay, now what about, is this all, I believe that's some right there. See it to the left of the big white rock? Swimming. See, they're
Yeah,
out this way. I see him.
No, that's a bird.
Gail, oh, what is it?
See, they're real big birds.
Oh, that must be big birds.
You talking about on the left out here?
They're not all birds. They're not all birds.
Oh yeah.
Maybe they're swimming. Now, I might have trouble with getting in my room with the key, but I know it's a sea lion. Sea owl bird.
Yeah, they're cute. What's a squirrel? I just
Never see that anywhere.
what?
Squirrel eating out someone's hand, letting you pet him. They are so tame.
This is called the Lone Cypress on the 17-mile road around Pebble Beach. Just going out of a plain, flat rock. And one of California's most noted landmarks. See all the kelp. I don't know why. Looking south down toward San Simeon.
The fattest squirrel you've ever seen is laying right down there.
Oh, really?
Belly down.
Did y'all see the squirrel down here?
Yeah, he's chilling.
Where is he?
Right here.
He's chilling right there.
The lady said just fattest squirrel you'd ever see.
He's eating a lot.
So 18th, fixing to have a wedding. This is the lodge at Pebble Beach.
That's what I was.
Now, back to now box. You guys hear me down there, okay? Wave your arm if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
This is the 18th.
Yeah, check, I'll turn it up. How's that? Is that better? Can you hear me now? That's clear? If you're messing with me, I'll make it louder and louder and louder.
If it's a 4 o'clock waiting,
I know you're messing with me.
can you?
I don't think so. You? Marina over there. We're just gonna go down and look at the 18th hole close.
Yeah, I heard you talking to him.
You don't have to duck. It don't matter. Grounds inspector. Have the ground inspector here checking the grass out. Taking his shoes off. Feeling of it. It's like he took pictures of the lettuce coming down here. Avocado field. Then we have two professional shoppers down here. We hit every shop.
Oh, she had.
Flowers, just unreal.
Michael wants to go. Everybody heard you.
Well, you have to, but
That 280 feet?
Whoa.
We're not coming in.
Let's see here. Ways down, isn't it? Dry too. Isn't it though?
Yeah, it's not that pretty of a shot.
Pretty, isn't it? It's that restaurant where we took those pictures. Nancy and I ate when we came here 12 years ago. Restaurant called Rocky Point. It's a little cool. Fog up on the mountains. This is what they call the Bixby Bridge. 1932. You believe that? 180 feet.
I want the bridge.
Beautiful.
Pretty good.
And you may want one this way so you get the beach. The beach is pretty. Like if y'all take that right there and get the beach. Or right here. Would be good.
You believe that's built in 1932?
The beach?
Yeah.
The road down there to the left. Get up there at your weather station.
This is McCoy
McCoy Bay or McCoy?
Bay.
Yeah, it's kind of way up.
McCoy Bay. In the Pfeiffer Burns National Park. Near, no, I guess State Park near
This is
Big,
Julia.
Big Sur.
Julia Pfeiffer.
Julia Park. That's the path we came right down a quarter of a mile. There's an old prospector right there, gold miner.
Mm-hmm. Coming right up here, right out of California.
Yeah, you could find out.
Haven't got any gold yet.
Most of the cliff rescues are done. Look at that, looks like a little cave in there. I've seen the other one.
Go back up in there.
No, yeah. There's several. Probably going down there. No. No, although I could see you could make it easier from right here.
Well, don't you know that water is cool coming out this hill?
You get to see it soon. That's funny. I expected a great big fall, waterfall.
Yeah.
Fine.
It's a great day, huh?
Yeah.
I love this place.
Boys, no.
Here's some senior hikers coming up the trail, going through the tunnel. Under the road.
We don't have a horn to blow.
See how notice how the women wait on the men. One with a bad back, the other can't breathe. They just keep on trucking. Excuse me.
They look like little Chinese lanterns.
You want to take a lemon?
I think you got an orange, eh?
Orange and a lemon. Orange. Sorry, orange.
Do you want me to have a little camera?
This hidden terrace was really out in the open at one time with the tile floor under here and tile steps going up. It looked like the stairway that you see in the photograph on the post here leading up to one of the guest houses. And that was all finished in 1922. And then in 1928, Mr. Hearst took a trip to Italy, visited a lot of Italian gardens, and decided he wanted broad Italian terraces like they have in Italy. And so he called his architect, Julia Morgan of San Francisco, and said, "Miss Morgan, I want some broad Italian terraces." So she poured new terraces over the old one right here, covered up all this old stairway and terrace area. And when it was finished in 1929, they locked the door over there. Nobody came in for quite a few years. 1976, a gardener, looking for the source of a water leak, knocked the door down over there and came in and looked around and said, "Hey, there's a hidden terrace in here." And that's where the name comes from.
One of two swimming pools here on the hill. And this Neptune pool was started in 1924 when Mr. Hearst's wife, Millicent, asked for a swimming pool so she and the 5 sons would have a place to cool off in the summertime. And Mr. Hearst had a rose garden down in this area at that time where the pool is. He dug out a little spot in the middle of this area and put in a small swimming pool, like the normal backyard swimming pool, maybe 25,000 gallons or so. And he didn't like that one, so 2 years later, he tore out the little pool and the rose garden and built a pool the size and shape of the oval that you see in the bottom of this pool. He didn't like that either, and he had the money and the inclination to make it perfect, so 1933 to 35, he built the pool that's here now. And when he was finished, he had the world's largest privately owned backyard heated swimming pool. It's 10 feet deep over on the right, 3.5 feet on the left, 104 feet long, big enough to anchor Columbus's ship, the Santa Maria, and still have 22 feet left over at the end. And decorated and all. Oh, by the way, he heated it 75 to 80 degrees year-round, and they loved to swim. He swam regularly, and his guests who came here also enjoyed swimming, although a lot of them didn't know how to swim. Remember back in the 1920s and 30s,
people were afraid of catching polio from swimming pools. And so people didn't learn to swim back in those days.
I was just
Scurvy-free schools.
37 miles that way is the backyard. 200,000 acres. Back property went to that mountain peak that you can barely see over there.
Doubles.
We have a lot of them right here. Bougainvillea, you see them growing on the wall over there, the magenta colored flowers. And hollyhocks, which are right here. He loved a riot of color. The more color, the better. And he would play tricks on visitors here. He'd have the gardeners. He hired about 30 gardeners full-time. And they would go into the gardens after everybody went to bed. And during the night, they would take out all the flowers around a particular guest house and put new flowers in, all in bloom, you know, from the greenhouses. And people would wake up in the morning, they'd find a whole different color scheme, a brand new garden outside the window. We'd love to do that. That's hydrangea over there.
72,000. This is a guest house. 72,000 square feet in the castle or the main house, which is this one. The roses.
Cary Grant called this walkway Lover's Lane. The place to go with that lady friend to get away from the prying eyes of those up in the castle. Those you see all different kinds of fishes. From very large and colorful, very big.
So we didn't do the garden tour. We stayed in the house, so I'm glad we did this.
They're called Bolivian fuchsia. They come from the Yungas region of Bolivia, maybe the lowlands, you know, way down to the 7,000, 8,000 foot level. And particularly like that. There's a grapefruit tree up on the left. It comes from a place where grapefruit don't grow. You might notice that it doesn't bunches. That's why they call it grapefruit, because they tend to grow in clusters. Grapefruit tree. And
Grapefruit. Did you hear him say that fuchsia was from South America? Rare.
Nothing but bedrooms, bathrooms, and sitting rooms up there, all with antique window frames, dating in some cases back to the 14th century. This windmill palm right here had a problem about 50 years ago. Developed a fungus infection. gardeners chiseled out the affected part of the tree, went all the way through the trunk, hollowed the center of it out, took out so much wood that they had to put a bolt through to keep the tree from collapsing. And the tree survived the operation, and for 50 years has been growing like this. Tough old tree.
Yeah.
That tree over to the left at the corner of the tennis courts is a cryptomeria. Cryptomeria is an unusual tree, almost moss-like. Tennis courts, 2 courts on the roof above the indoor swimming pool. We'll go see the swimming pool later on. But first, built these courts in 1927, put in the movie studio floodlights for night tennis. It would have created an inner space up there. We'll see it closer up later on. And he didn't get that started. He was going to decorate that area like St. Mark's Square in Venice, Italy. And he actually has some actual arches taken from the Doge's Palace in Venice, Italy. I was there in Venice a couple weeks ago and saw the place where these arches came from. They have some fill-ins, fake ones, to replace the ones that first bought from the dealer. This is butcher's broom here. It has little stems on the center of each leaf. And this is a home remedy for stomach problems. I've seen this for sale in the, I don't know if you can see it very well, but orange flowers up through the trees here, known as red hot pepper or torch lilies. They grow from bulbs.
See him up way up there? Torch lilies.
Oh yeah, way up there.
I said I'm planting trees for the color of the fruit and what do limes look like. They look like green oranges. Little plantings ago. Cost about $17,000 to move it. That was enough in those days to buy 4 or 5 houses. This, by the way, is also the most expensive private residence, a telephone attached to or connected to the switchboard. And even trees around the ranch had telephones mounted on the trunks to make it possible for Hearst to communicate with the outside world while he was riding his horses around the ranch.
I think that was 1920.
Wellhead, which is called J.P. Morgan's bathtub, and this actually belonged to J.P. Morgan, and it was converted to a bathtub. We got pipes on either side and a drain down below. After Morgan died, Hearst bought his wellhead and brought it here. He probably purchased something from Morgan. Tile work, all designed by Julian Morgan, the architect of St. Simeon's. Stair risers over here. Tile. Leading up to the oldest man-made objects on the hill, the Egyptian statues up there, Sekhmet, 3,500-year-old statues from ancient Egypt. Now this is called the best place on the hill for photographing the castle in front of it.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that view, Bruce.
Picture of the harbor at San Simeon down there. It's the first front yard.
Saw what?
And the harbor at San Simeon was extremely valuable land when George Hearst came here in 1865. He paid top dollar for 40,000 acres of land. He paid 75 cents an acre. That was 1865, right at the end of the American Civil War. And they kept adding to it until eventually the family owned 250,000 acres.
How did the father make his money?
Father made his money in mining. He bought the Ophir mine in Virginia City, Nevada.
I tried in Nevada.
Died for $410. All the gold had been taken out of it. And the former owner neglected the great quantities, thousands of tons of blue-gray clay which George Hurst recognized as high-grade silver ore.
Yeah.
And the streets of Virginia City were paved with this stuff. And they analyzed it. It's the richest silver mine in North America. And that's how George Hurst became very wealthy. He invested $410 plus development costs, and he got $21 million out of it. Then he started the Anaconda Copper Company and
Yeah,
Homestead.
copper is what I was thinking.
All the best ones.
Yeah, I thought he made copper too.
Here's one that I'd like to take you for a walk.
Best shot of the front entrance. What a view of the ocean. City bought 75 cents an acre, bought the first 40,000 acres. His father paid $450 investment in an old gold mine in Virginia City, Nevada, and it turned out it had copper. He started Anaconda Copper. So it had silver, and gold. Copper is what his daddy made his money. But the original was 75 cents an acre.
The Madonna and Child shown 3 times in this room, and a Della Robbia terracotta here, and a Spanish Madonna de la Leche in the stairwell, the 16th century Italian Madonna there on the right. First comes across sometimes looking like a very devout Roman Catholic, but in fact he was Episcopalian and didn't go to church. He said, I believe in God, I read the Bible, but I don't like to go to church. God will count the number of times I go to church and judging me. Anyhow, that was his belief. Loggia here is where Hearst used to sit and watch the ocean. Here's another sitting room. This one is called the shield room because of the coat of arms on the ceiling. The Hearst family did not have its own coat of arms. Maybe we could move in just a little closer, get better acquainted here. And so Mr. Hearst, without, oh, please don't touch. That's all gold leaf that does crumble off. And anyhow, Hearst borrowed other people's coats of arms. His family immigrated from Scotland in 1680, settled in Virginia, and then moved west with the frontier. And George Hearst was born in Franklin County, Missouri in 1820 on the frontier. Do you like this room?
Yes.
I think you get used to a bed where you have to take a running leap to get in. Or maybe a boost from a partner. There's a closet behind the door. 1976.
What was that again?
Oh, it was the Symbionese Liberation Army. Remember they had kidnapped Patty Hearst, and when she got arrested and tried to hide this sarcophagus and waited for somebody to come by so he could jump up and yell boo. And the 3 graces of Antonio Canova up there. It's a copy of Canova's work by his assistant, Boyer, 150-year-old copy.
That's one of them so nice.
I mean, it's like a modern bathroom.
The bathtub's very big. It's quite big.
We hadn't been in this one, Nancy. We hadn't been in this one.
It's trying to shut on us.
Are you getting any good ideas, or are we doing your own
Oh,
idea?
where's the day?
coats and fur stoles, and drapery. Mercury resting on the left over there, the wrestlers on the right.
Where Winston Churchill stayed, 10 rooms and then else.
And over here on the left, Princess Leia, Star Wars, shelled by the hairdo. This is a 1927 Art Deco statue made for Mr. Hearst. It's really the girl who goes. I don't think Carrie Fisher goes for this. Did I mention it's a 72,000 square foot home? Looks like